a lot of times it feels like I'm genuinely making no progress moving forward. A lot of times I just feel stuck. A lot of times I feel like I'm not doing the right thing. A lot of times I get into this negative mindset and I just feel like nothing is going to work out. But whenever those times come around, you just have to remind yourself that things will work out if you continue to show up and if you don't quit. And I think that's the biggest thing that has brought me as far as I have come, even though I'm nowhere near where I want to be. It's that I didn't give up when things get hard. I didn't get, into this negative mindset of, oh my God, like I feel bad for myself. Like I'm going through all this hard time. Like, oh my God, like you have to understand that you're putting yourself through this stuff for a reason. You have to understand that you're doing things differently than other people because you want a different outcome than other people. I know if any one of you is watching this, you probably have a similar mindset to me where it's like you don't want to work a regular job for the rest of your life. You don't want to be tied down doing something that you don't want to do for the rest of your life. You don't want to have no freedom to do the things that you want to do, to go to the places that you want to go to make the experiences that you want to last a lifetime. And I think in order to reach that point in life where you can have all these things, you have to get to the point where you're appreciating where you're at now, but you're also not complacent with what you have. And I think that's the hardest thing to do, because I know for me personally, I'm always looking ahead at the next step or the next big goal or the next thing that I can do or the next thing that I accomplish. And I get so in my head about the future that I can't enjoy where I'm currently at in the present moment. And I think that has a lot to do with just being underappreciative. And it takes, it's hard to say that about yourself, that you're underappreciative, that you don't appreciate what you actually have. But sometimes you just got to man up and say it how it is. And over the last couple months, I haven't been appreciative of where I've been at. And it only takes me looking back from like old memories or old photos to be like, damn, I was in such a good time at that moment and I didn't appreciate it. And, I think it's good to continue to work towards things. It's good to continue to always look forward and always try and strive for more. But if you're not going to appreciate where you're at, there's no point in even doing all this. But, that's the beauty in all this. It's, you can have these times where you just learn based off action, based off continuous action each and every single day. If you continue to just move forward, if you continue to just try new things, if you continue to just put in the work day in and day out, even if you don't know if it's going to work out, that's how you build real self-confidence, by showing up for yourself each and every single day. It's hard. If, like I said before, if you're anything like me, if you're trying to chase something else, it's hard, bro. But the thing is, you have to simplify it. You have to simplify it, accept that it's hard, accept that it's going to take a lot of time, and accept that a lot of people are going to look at you a different way because of what it is that you're doing. But that's fine. Because why would you want to be like everybody else? Why would you want to be like everybody else when everybody else is just complacent? They're fine with what they have and they're just living, I don't know. I mean, yeah, like, good for you. If you have what you have and you're appreciative of that and you're okay with that, good for you. But there's so much more out there in the world. There are these systems that are put in place in order for us to stay in this little bubble in our entire lives, for us not to get out there and experience what there truly is to see in this world, what there truly is to do in this world. And I think so many people just get caught up in the distractions, and they get caught up in, what's going on social media, what's going on in the newest sports game, what's going on this and that. And it's just like, you're so caught up in other people's dreams and other people's, big aspirations that you don't even have any to yourself. And I think if you really want to do something in this life, if you really want to become the highest version of yourself, become the best version of yourself that has all these great things that you want, you have to cut out all the noise. You have to cut out all the things that are holding you back, all the things that are distracting you from what it is that you genuinely want to do. Because if you could do that, then you can truly put all your energy into yourself. And I think that is the most important thing with anything in life. It is all about where you're putting your energy towards. If you want a good physique, you need to put your energy towards getting into the gym, to eating right, to getting your sleep. If you want to make money, you need to be putting your energy towards the businesses that are going to make you money, towards the daily actionable steps that you can take each and every single day that are going to get you closer to that goal, to whatever it may be. And a lot of people, they just feel like they're not worth it. You know, they have these thoughts and they're like, maybe I could do this, maybe I could do that. And then it's just immediately there's something in the back of their head that tells them they can't. And that's your subconscious mind. So if you can learn to control that, then you can do anything. But it's a daily battle. There's not just going to be one day where you're just like, oh, I have control over my mind now. Like, no, it's about every single day taking little steps to improve each and every single day. And it is so hard, but you cannot get discouraged. There's going to be times when you're going to question if it's going to work. There's going to be times where you're going to question if any of this is worth it. There's going to be times where you literally just want to quit, where you just want to stop doing everything that you're doing because you feel like it's getting you even further away from where you want to be. But you have to remind yourself that it will all work out if you continue to show up. If you do not quit, if you keep pushing each and every single day, that is what it's truly about. And, you know, a lot of people, they start something with the expectation of them getting it right away. But you have to understand that good things take time. Anything good takes time. Anything worth doing is going to take a while. And if you are not willing to show up with that consistent effort and that consistent drive and that consistent passion for what it is that you're doing and where it is that you want to go, you know, you have to have that. You know, you have to have that if you want to do this long term. But people, they'll just put in all their energy right away. You know, the first couple days, the first couple weeks, they'll go as hard as they possibly can. And then they burn out. And they're like, maybe this isn't for me. But, you know, it is about going hard. It is about giving it your best effort. But doing it to the point where you can do that on a consistent basis. Doing it to the point where you can continue to do that for maybe 1, maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 years in a row. Because you never know how long this stuff is going to take. And, you know, this is speaking for everything. Starting your own business, you know, getting fit, getting in shape. You know, that takes a lot quicker, but all these things that you're trying to strive after, all these things that you want to do in life, they all have the same basic principles, and that's show up and show up and show up and get better and get better and get better. And you just have to be willing to do that. You have to be willing to go hard every single day. You have to be willing to do things when it gets uncomfortable. You have to be willing to stand out from other people, from doing things that other people don't want to do. You know, that is what truly makes you stand out, is showing up when other people don't want to show up, doing the uncomfortable things, doing the things that are genuinely going to get you ahead in this life, the things that you know you have to do each and every single day. And sometimes it's the simple things that you have to do that you don't even realize are the things that are the main needle movers. So if you can continue to do those, if you can continue to show up and put in the work each and every single day, do the things that are uncomfortable, do the things that you know you have to do, and just stay consistent and have your vision in the front of your mind at all times, you can achieve anything in this life. I don't think enough people understand that you can literally do anything that you want. Every single person in this entire world that has done something, that has become anybody, they were in the same position of you at one time, maybe even a worse position. But they understood that they could be somebody. They understood that they could do things different than other people, that they could actually make a difference in this world and actually become somebody. So if you don't believe in that, if you don't feel like you can be somebody, you're not going to be able to do it. You know, you can put in all this work and you can put in all this time and all this effort, but if you genuinely don't believe that you can make it, you're not going to, because when the time comes for you to actually show up and you actually get your moment, you're going to get imposter syndrome. You're going to feel like you don't deserve this. And that's normal, but you have to believe in yourself. You have to understand that you can do this. You know, anything in this life. But it just comes down to the basic principles. You showing up every single day. You doing hard things when you don't want to. You sticking to your routine, sticking to your habits, sticking to the structure that you know is going to get you forward. And just taking action. If you're going to just sit back and kind of hope all these things come to you, you know, a good quote is, the law of attraction does not work without the law of action. So if you're not continuously taking action towards your dreams and towards your goals, you can't just expect all this stuff to come to you and some miracle to happen and you just figure out everything and everything clicks all at once. It doesn't happen like that. It happens over years or months or however long it may take of you just continuing to show up and you continuing to struggle and just continuing to push through when things get hard. You just have to have that end goal at the front of your mind at all times. Understand that you can do this. You can be somebody. You can do something with your life. So, you know, if you could take anything from this video, it's understand that you can be somebody. And, you know, there's more to life than just the normal 9 to 5. There's more to life than just living a depressed and anxious life each and every single day. There's more to life than all this sorrow and sadness and bad news that is always continuing to go around. You know, there's a lot more good in this world than people realize, and you just have to look for it within yourself, within other people, within the world, within nature, within everything. But if you guys can understand one thing, it's become the best version of yourself, because if you don't, you're going to regret it for the rest of your life. You know, you actually have gifts, you have talents that make you stand out from other people. You have things that you know you have deep down, but you have to find them through showing up each and every single day and showing yourself what you are truly capable of. I love you guys. Have a good one. It's been real. Peace.